part of the PT Business Growth School program, I don't know where I would be. I'd probably still be working 12, 13 hours every day. My personal life suffering, stressed, gaining weight, not being fit, all those things that I said I would never be, but there's a reason why I decided to own my own business. It was to create the life that I wanted. It was to create the life that I didn't have someone always telling me what to do. So we had this initial vision of growing a business, but once we get in it, we don't know what to do, right? We don't have a plan. We don't have a map. If Paul and his team hadn't helped me along my journey, I'd probably be back where I was, killing myself. So, I'm super grateful. A little bit about me and my clinic. My name is Jason Hahn. I am a physical therapist. I ran a sole practice for about 3 or 4 years, about 3 years, and my wife had her sole practice for about 2 to 3 years. She's a chiropractor. In September of 2015, we decided to join, and we opened up our multidisciplinary clinic, Health Fit. We're located in Pasadena, California, and we offer physical therapy, chiropractic, and fitness services. We are completely cash-based and / out of network. I believe I joined the first BGS in April of 2016. We had been open for about 6 months at that point. And I think individually we're doing pretty well, but at the same time, my wife and I were working our butts off. And then really we came to a realization that we couldn't be working this much all the time because it didn't allow for a life, really. Your business was your life. So I saw one of Paul's emails or one of Paul's ads. Jared Carter, who I had been following for a long time, and I bought Jared's cash-based practice book a few years when I first started, and I saw that Jared was going to be in that class. So I actually reached out to Jared and asked him a little bit about it, and he basically helped me determine that I did need systems for me to scale my business, to make it more efficient, and that's why I took the leap to join Paul's group. I feel really compelled to help those that are interested in this program because I was in your shoes, right? And then it is really, when looking at Paul's message and a lot of what he said really resonated with me and the way I wanted to run a practice. So what I would say is, if you're a physical therapist or any type of healthcare practitioner and you're in it for the right reasons, and you want to be able to scale a business and to make money, but at the same time at the core is actually help people, Paul's message resonated with me. And that's why I feel like just taking the time to just to outline my experience, and I'm super grateful to Paul and his entire staff for helping me throughout the years. What I liked best about Business Growth School was it helped me systematize my business. It does help you create systems, but it actually allows you to put into words what you're actually doing. So you can't really move on unless you're able to in a way diagnose what you're doing, right? If you're just kind of doing stuff haphazardly, you don't know your destination. So what Business Growth School did for me was gives me systems, everything from communication is always the overlying theme, but taking that communication and outlining the patient experience. So anywhere from if they're answering one of your ads online to they're actually calling, and then how to answer that call, how to continue that communication throughout the process of the evaluation, the treatments, the discharges, the follow-ups, all that kind of stuff helps you systematize that into creating the best patient experience possible. I would say the primary problem before joining business growth school was just my hours. I was working 12 to 13 hours a day. I was fortunate enough to have enough patients, but you can only see so many patients a day one-on-one. And then you actually hit a cap once you hit that point, right? So what I was looking for was, how am I going to be able to scale this, especially with, working on it, trying to have a family with my wife, and like, you really can't have a kid if you're working 13 hours a day in the business. So I had that vision of the life that I wanted. I wanted to maybe work only a few hours a day actually treating patients, and the rest was on the business, and I didn't know how to get there. So that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to see what Paul had to say and what he had to teach us. Well, I knew it was time to do something different, to join PT Business Growth School, because I was super frustrated. You're kind of running around in circles and without a direction, and I needed someone to lead me and take me in a direction, and I needed someone that I trusted. And like I said earlier, Paul's message resonated with me. I'm really not a salesy kind of guy, but and that's salesy in the sense, like, I'm not trying to scam people, at least, and let's put it in that sense. But what Paul preaches is really communication. And like I said, if your heart's in the right place and you're trying to do good, but you feel like you should be compensated for doing this good, then PT Growth School was a great solution for me. A lot has changed since joining PT Business Growth School. I think it's about a year and 3/4 time since I've been with Paul, and we've grown exponentially, not only just from a financial standpoint, but from my staff. It was myself, my wife, and my one admin, and now I have myself, my wife, chiropractor. I have 2 admins. I have another physical therapist. I have another chiropractor, and I have a strength and conditioning coach, all in a span of a year and a half and going on to 2 years. So from a size standpoint, we've really grown. From a financial standpoint, I was actually looking at our numbers recently, and I spoke with my wife, and we've more than doubled our gross income. And that's with, initially my wife and I were the primary money makers, let's say it, put it like that. We recently had our daughter. My daughter's 7 months now, and my wife took about 3-4 months off, and then now she's treating about less than 10 hours a week, and we're making double, and she's not working as much, and we're able to take care and leverage our staff, so they're very productive. So it could be better, right? But we're really grateful for the opportunity to actually own a business. I don't work in the business, I actually own it. And that is in conjunction with cutting my hours as well. I see about 40% less patients, 50% less patients than I used to. So now I take the time to be a leader and help my staff, because that's all. If your vision is to not work in the business every day, and to have some income even when you're going on vacation. I'm going to Hawaii in about 2 weeks, in about 2 days, and just to have that feeling that revenue is still coming in even though I'm not here, that's the best feeling in the world. My monthly revenue has increased since taking the program. Again, I started in April. If I remember correctly, maybe like 3 or 4 months into the program, we increased our monthly revenue by about 40%. And then all I did was start to implement the things I was learning within Business Growth School. I believe it was 6 weeks at the time, and I made sure every week I did my best to implement what I could, and then it was really about just staying on task, the support of the group, the support of Paul, and just really implementing and understanding why we were doing stuff. So, and then now it's more than doubled, and hopefully it triples and quadruples pretty soon. Business Growth School has had a huge impact on my ability to, I would say, primarily be a business owner. It's to look at my business objectively and then making smarter decisions on where the business should go. If you're working in the business in the sense that you're seeing 8, 10, 12 patients a day, you don't really have that time to think about the business, because you're thinking about your patients all day. And I think Paul has really tapped into that higher level thinking for a lot of us that have been with him for a while. And like the stuff that he says now is pretty much the same stuff he was saying a year and a half ago. But I'm at a place where I can actually comprehend, understand, dissect, and take that knowledge and apply it into not just the day-to-day tasks, but like forecasting where I want this business to go in the future, what that vision is, and just kind of think at a higher level to expand this business and then have more work-life balance. The support from the community is huge. That Facebook group is amazing. I may not comment as much as some, but I'm always watching. I'm like that creepy guy in the background. But I'm always learning. I'm always watching, and it doesn't matter whether you are just starting as a sole practitioner or you have multiple clinics. The problems that people face are similar. So I think it's when you don't have someone like Paul and this group to move along with, you always think that your problems are unique, but they're not. You're going to see the same struggles, the same, that kind of stuff amongst the whole group. So in a sense, it makes you feel like, okay, you're validated. And then now it's like, okay, let's step forward. I'm not a failure. These other people are having the same issues. Let's kind of learn from this and move on. And so the Facebook group is great. And even going to the mastermind events and actually, meeting some of these other practitioners in person, and having meals, having drinks, and just kind of talking about our businesses it's been amazing. I've been to 2 masterminds so far, and it was just amazing. I just can't wait for the next one in San Diego in like 3 months or so. PT Business Growth School has had a huge impact on not only my business but my life. Being able to, long story short, when I first joined Business Growth School, my wife and I were trying to have a kid. We were having some trouble, so we had to go through in vitro. And if any of you have been through that or know people that have been through that, it's not cheap. I was talking to a patient the other day and just saying we spent over $70,000 to $80,000 on that whole process, through failures and this and that. So I think, and we started that process near the time we started HealthFit. So in the beginning, it was really just focused on the business, growing the business. But you're trying to bring a new life into this world, and just being in a good emotional state is, I believe, it's very, very important to having a baby, to being able to have the baby. So we went through some failed attempts in the beginning, and yeah, money was an issue, and maybe I placed it too much of a priority versus looking at actually we wanted to have the baby, and being more cognizant of my wife's feelings and whatnot. So as we progress during business growth, and that might be actually be a big part of why I joined business growth school, the underlying my why or whatnot. But so we successfully were able to have a kid. She's now 7 months. Work-life balance is a lot better. I'm here in the office like 8 to 9 hours, and I'm a lot more efficient when I'm at home. I've cut my personal patient volume by about 40%. And just now my priorities are my family. So the business is no longer my life. It's a means for me to have my life. So I'm super grateful and for the opportunity to do so. So along those lines, there's a lot of things over the past year and a half that helped me make that transition, right? So everything from leveraging staff, learning to be a better leader, learning how to motivate, and as well as even from a financial standpoint, how to raise prices to fit the level of service that I felt that we were delivering, and even being more cognizant of the financials, number of patients, number of cancels, number of evals, patient lifetime, stuff like that I didn't even know about prior to business growth school. And just being more cognizant of those things has really allowed me to work on the business. And again, very grateful. Well, the business growth school really helped me reach my ultimate goal, which was or is to have a family. I think all the underlying things, as far as like, I want to make more money, I think that is a means to get there. But I would say my ultimate goal was to have a family and work-life balance. And that has really evolved over time. Initially, it's just like, I just want to grow this business. It makes me money. I want to see patients. I want to do this and that. But it has really kind of brought a lot of perspective into my life as far as what I really want. And the business, the systems that Business Growth School has taught me, and just all the lessons have helped me make better decisions regarding my business, on where I want it to be, where I want it to go, the type of people I want to help, all with the ultimate goal of giving myself a better life. And if I can, and I'm able to help people during that journey, which makes it like even double as wonderful. So I'm super grateful to Business Growth School for allowing me to have a life, with my wife and my daughter, and maybe even future kids. If you are a PT, interested in Business Growth School, and you're wondering, if this is right for you, if you're in a situation where there's a lot of situations. If you're frustrated with you're not having enough patience, or you're frustrated with you feel like you're working too hard within the business to make things run, this is for you. I consider myself a pretty type A guy, and I try to develop systems, which I did to a certain extent, but it's a lot easier to have someone else help you versus trying to figure it all out yourself. And if you look at any successful business, not even business owner, any people, they leverage other people to help them, because we are all not good at everything. We came out of PT school as physical therapists. We didn't come out of PT school as business owners. It's a whole different profession in a sense. So to have someone that knows the ins and outs of both of being a PT and actually growing a practice is huge. So if you're wondering, just kind of take that into mind, and then just make a decision, where you want your life to go, and if that fits the kind of life that you want. So Business Growth School was worth the money. Initially, when I saw the price tag, I was like, ugh. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. And I would say I'm pretty conscious with my money. I'm frugal, cheap, or whatever you want to call me. But, I knew that I needed to invest in not only my personal growth, but my business to help speed things along a bit. If you're the type of person that's always kind of trying to cut corners and only use this amount and use this amount, your improvement is you're still going to improve, but it's going to be limited. You have to invest in your business just as much as you invest in your patients. So it was like 20 times worth the money that I invested in Business Growth School to have the success that I have now, and just the peace of mind that I'm able to run a business that I see is going to last a long time. I had many reservations before joining Business Growth School. A lot of it was, one, the price tag, the money. 2 was, would I have the time to even implement it? And 3, would I even implement it? So fortunate enough, I talked with Jared Carter via Messenger, and we just briefly talked about the struggles that I was having, and whether or not Business Growth School was a good complement to where I wanted the business to go. So I had a lot of these reservations, but at the end of the day, I needed something to kickstart my business. I needed something, and I didn't have the solution myself. So I needed to get the knowledge of an expert to help me. And that's exactly when patients come to your office, it's kind of along the same process. So do you offer something that they need? And Paul offered something that I needed. So I had a lot of reservations, but I believed in him and I trusted him, and I still to this day I do. If you are a medical care practitioner, one thing I would like to relay about Business Growth School is that reimbursement is just getting less and less. So I think I'm very fortunate to have started out as a cash-based practice, and reimbursement's getting less. It's harder to even get patients into your office because they're skeptical. They've had bad experiences at other places. So we never thought of a negative connotation towards what physical therapy is, but it's really out there. So it's important to gain people's trust through a systematic way in order to get them into your office, number one, so you can actually do a good job. And I think that's really important for healthcare moving forward, and not just relying on MDs or DOs to refer to you. I think we're in an age where we have the accessibility to the people themselves. So if we can outline who we are, what we do for them, and what sets us apart the right way, then Business Growth School is really a great solution for you.